Do you ever feel like no matter what you try, the weight just won't come off? If you're a busy dad, I totally get it. In this video, I'm gonna explain exactly what's going on and why the things that you've been trying to lose weight isn't working. What's going on, guys? I'm Kevin Andres, owner of K-Square Fitness, and we help career-driven dads get back in shape without counting macronutrients. And in today's video, we're gonna break it down. First thing, the reason why you fail to lose weight is you don't have realistic expectations, and we need to talk about this a little bit. In the beginning, if you're trying to lose fat, we are gonna be focusing on building muscle. So if you're building muscle, your weight actually might stay the same in the beginning, because we know that if your basic metabolic rate, which is how many calories your body burns, if we focus on building muscle, your BMR is going to increase. If you build 10 pounds of muscle, you're going to increase the amount of calories your body burns naturally by roughly 500 calories. So we want to be focusing on building muscle. So if we're talking about weight loss, in the beginning, your weight might stay the same. As we start to increase our metabolic burn, the amount of calories that we burn on a daily basis, realistic expectations are 0.05 pounds per week. But what we really need to be focusing on is what actually works. So if we don't measure it, we don't know what's working. So let me explain what we're talking about. At K-Square Fitness, this is how we break things down. We change one thing at a time. Let's talk about if we start to add in strength training, we take your weight, we take your photos, we get objective and subjective data, and we say we added one thing, and at the end of the week, we measure. Here's where you were, this is where you're at now. Did you gain or did you lose weight? I don't know. We find out one thing because we're able to track it. Then we say that worked or it didn't work. We're going to continue this, but we need to try adding one other thing. All right, we increased our step count by 5,000 steps. So we started to increase our activity level, because there's two ways that you can lose weight. We can increase your activity level, which is probably the easiest thing for most people, or we can dial in on nutrition. So now we factored in two things. At the end of 2 weeks, we measure where were you at, where are you at now? Did we move the needle? Did we not? Did we make a change? We add in another thing. So when you do this, it's a very science-based approach, because we know exactly what we changed. We did this consistently well, and it either produced a result or it didn't, and we need to make a change. So we simplify everything by figuring out what exactly works. Start talking about protein, carbs, fats, macros, but that is so far up here that we can simplify things in the beginning by tackling your least area of opportunity first. Least path of resistance is what we focus on first. The next thing we need to focus on is consistency. So the reason why we followed that approach with one thing is because we want to figure out what's your greatest area of opportunity that is aligned with your goals, and we're going to do that one thing consistently well before we add anything else. Because if we can't do the basics well, when we start to talk about more complicated approaches like optimizing your carbs and your proteins and your fats, or start making your sleep routine totally different, these things are a much more complicated skill. We want to start with the basics first and have consistency over intensity. This process is not going to be one back in a month or 2 months or 3 months unless you go an extreme route. And that's already tried, and that's already been done, and it doesn't work. We want to simplify things and break things down into a very small approach. Let me give you an example. If we follow a program that is very aggressive as opposed to a simple program, the aggressive program might get your results faster, but you're probably not going to be as compliant, so you end up not doing it. You follow a program that is very simple, and the objectives or the daily tasks almost need to feel like they're so easy I can't afford not to do it. So you actually do them, and then you actually follow through with the program, and then you actually get results. Over here, complicated, overwhelming, aggressive. You like this idea because the mindset and the determination is like, I really want to get this done. I really want to get the results. But then a week into it, you're overwhelmed, and then you're out, and then you're right back in the same cycle you are where you were 6 months ago. Keep things simple and focus on consistency. And here's the one that everybody thinks that they want, is accountability. So I hear this all the time talking to people that I know exactly what to do, I just don't do it. Let's be real, guys. If that was the case, you wouldn't be watching this video. Or maybe you're someone that just watches videos, you read articles, and you look up more and more and more information, but you never take action. So accountability is taking action in ownership of yourself. But if that was the case, you probably would have already done that, and you wouldn't be where you're at today. So when I talk to people, everyone says that they want to take ownership, but that was the case, you probably would have already done it. So you have to decide, are you going to continue doing what you want to do, and you say that accountability is what you want, but really you want to go your own way. But accountability, you tell me that you want to lose weight and you want to build muscle and you want to get your energy back for your spouse and for your kids. Accountability might look like, hey man, these are the things you want to be doing, that you need to be doing. So do you really want accountability, or do you say that you want accountability and you really want to do your own thing? Because here's the reality, man. If you don't actually make a change, if you don't actually take action, you're going to be right back where you were in the next 6 months, because motivation is going to fall off. Habits is what you need to focus on. Simplifying the process and following through with what you said you're going to do, but it has to be different. In most cases, from my experience, what I've seen you need to have accountability. You need to have a plan, because without those two things, the thing that you really want is the results. And if you want to have results, you need to have a plan. And you've probably had a plan before, but you lack accountability. So if you want to simplify everything, get a coach. This guy can help you. If you want accountability, get someone that's going to hold you accountable to what you said. I'll keep it simple. If you're tired of being overweight, you want to get your energy back, and you're someone that wants to go this way when we talk about accountability, then click the link down below. You and I will get on a personal call. We'll talk about what are your goals specifically. What do you really want to accomplish and why? We'll spend some time figuring out why that matters to you, because if your why becomes big enough, your how becomes a lot easier. If we don't ever figure out why you want to make a change, you never will. We'll talk about where do you want to be. We'll talk about your biggest areas of opportunity. We'll map out a plan, and if I can help you, I'll simply walk out exactly what that looks like so you know the game plan to move forward. And we've done it for several people just like you who are scared, they're fearful of making a change, but they want to make a change. You can do this if you commit and you take action. Click the link down below. I'll see you on the other side.